In English, just like any language, there are many words that seem similar, but are used either in slightly different contexts or have a very, very small difference in meaning. Today, I want to walk you through 10 word pairs that often confuse learners and native English speakers sometimes. Some of these you may already know the difference between the two words, so it's just to refresh your memory. Some of them might be new or the meaning might be new for you. So be ready to write them down and create your own example sentences. And by the end of this video, you will feel confident that you can use these words in the correct way and in a more natural, accurate way. Let's get started with nice versus kind. Nice versus kind. I think this was a question that I was actually asked once by a student. What's the difference between nice and kind? Now, nice means polite or pleasant, something that gives you some sort of pleasure, a good feeling. Whereas kind is genuinely caring or helpful. Someone that does something they didn't need to do in order to help someone else. So, for example, she's a nice neighbor doesn't necessarily mean she's a kind neighbor. It just means she's an interesting person to speak to. She's pleasant. I have a good feeling about this neighbor. However, she was kind enough to bring me some soup when I was sick. This is an example of when the neighbor has done something they didn't need to do that was caring or helpful. They went out of their way to help you. Now, a kind person can, of course, be a nice person, and a nice person can, of course, be a kind person, but they don't mean exactly the same thing. For example, if she told you you had lipstick on your teeth before you went to an interview, this isn't a kind thing to say. We would never say she was kind to say that I had lipstick on my teeth, but you could say nice. It was a nice gesture that she told me before I went to the interview and felt embarrassed. Very versus a lot. Very versus a lot. So very intensifies an adjective, and this is a grammatical error that is made often. Very intensifies an adjective. So very nice, very beautiful, very happy, very sad, very interesting. Whereas a lot is a quantifier for nouns or an intensifier for verbs. He's very tired, tired being an adjective, versus he talks a lot, talk being the verb. I have a lot of money, money being a noun. I have a lot of experience. I have very experience. We would never say that, but we could say they are very experienced because, of course, experienced is the adjective. Big versus large. Now, in theory, they are synonyms for one another. They mean the same thing. However, big is more informal and more general. Something is big. Whereas large is slightly more formal and is often used in measurements, like a comparison. For example, that's a big dog. Informal, the dog's size is big. Whereas the company has a large office in London, this is more formal, but also large compared to the other offices. Maybe they have 5 offices and this is the largest office. Big is subjective, isn't it? My idea of big is very different to your idea of big. Whereas if you say large, we understand there is a comparison to something else. One mistake that's often made is big mistake. We always say that's a big mistake, not a large mistake. Large mistake, although it's not technically grammatically incorrect, it sounds very awkward here, very unnatural to say. Because again, big is more general and more informal. For example, we had a large order with a big mistake in the order, large compared to another type of order that you may have had before. Little versus small. Now again, similar meanings, very similar meanings, but we use them in a slightly different way. So little has an emotional or poetic connotation, whereas small is neutral and factual. So like big, something is big, the size is big. Something is small, the size is small, it's a fact. Whereas little has this feeling of emotion behind it. For example, she gave a little smile. Or my little brother. There's this feeling of he's younger than me, there's emotions involved, and a little smile. You could see she was happy. Whereas he lives in a small apartment, it's a fact, the apartment is small. If I was to say, and this is a good example to show you the difference, my smaller brother, you feel that my brother is shorter or smaller than me. But if I say my little brother, the understanding is his age is younger than me. And if you are like me, my brother is 3 years younger than me, but he is a lot taller than me. I could never describe him as my smaller brother. It always has to be my little brother, because it's the poetic feeling of he's younger than me, but he's not smaller than me. When we use little, there can also sometimes be this feeling of endearment. This item, this thing is cute because it's little, whereas small, again, factual. My home is small, but I love my little home. There's this feeling of, oh, it's cute. It has everything I need, everything I want in it. Hard versus difficult. Hard versus difficult. Again, synonyms for one another, something that is not easy to overcome. Whereas hard typically means something physically tough or emotionally intense. I'm having a hard time. Emotionally, I'm finding it, I was going to say finding it difficult, but I'm trying to use a different word. At the moment, I'm having a hard time would mean, emotionally you're struggling. It's not easy for you. Whereas difficult is more formal, often academic or abstract. So for example, the math problem is difficult. Or the project I'm working on at the moment is very difficult because there are all these aspects that are new to me or I have to think about. They are often used as synonyms for one another. So you could say the project is hard, the project is difficult. But often when we talk about hard, it's a struggle to overcome. And when we talk about something difficult, you will find a solution, but it's just taking time. For example, if I say it's difficult to think of video ideas for YouTube sometimes, this means I can do it. It's just not easy sometimes. If I say it's hard to think of ideas for YouTube, there's this kind of feeling of it's something I want to give up on, or it's a struggle for me. Fun versus funny. Now, a lot of people get this wrong when they first start their English learning journey. Fun is enjoyable, something that you get pleasure from, something you find entertaining. Whereas funny causes you to laugh. We don't describe something as funny if we don't laugh. So the game was fun, but the joke was really funny. I had fun with my friends. My friends are funny. They make me laugh. And because they make me laugh, I enjoy my time with my friends. Afraid versus scared. Now, I was asked about this once before, what's the difference? And I could feel there was a difference, but I was unable to explain it at the time. Because sometimes when you're a native speaker of a language, you don't think about why you use particular words. You just use them. So afraid is often used with the preposition of plus a noun or verb. I'm afraid of spiders. I'm afraid of heights. He was afraid of public speaking. She was afraid of being on her own. Whereas scared is more emotional, direct. It's that feeling you feel immediately. I was scared in the interview. You weren't afraid of the interview. but you were just scared in that moment. So scared feels like it passes, whereas afraid is something that maybe stays with you for a longer period of time. Like children are afraid of the dark, and they do eventually grow out of it. But there could be 10, 12 years of their life that they are afraid of the dark. Whereas if I am home by myself and I hear a noise, I might say I was scared, not I was afraid of this noise. I was scared of this noise. It passes quickly. Shy versus introverted. Now, if you're interested in psychology and sociology and people, then you probably know the difference here. Often when we talk about introverted, people think it means shy, someone that doesn't like to talk to people, they don't like being in large groups, but that's the incorrect understanding of introverted. So shy means to be nervous in social settings. You don't like to speak to many people, you don't like meeting new people, you find it difficult to start conversation. Whereas introverted means you prefer being alone. You need alone time to recharge, to gain energy for the next day. So it doesn't mean you are shy. You could be really enthusiastic, you could be really outgoing, but you need 2 or 3 hours a day by yourself to recharge that energy. And of course, the opposite of introverted is extroverted, which is people that like to be around other people to recharge their energy. Now, I can give you a good example here. I am not a shy person. I can talk to anybody about anything. I can enter a social situation and feel very comfortable talking to strangers. However, I am an introvert, which might sound strange because I'm on the internet, I'm recording videos of myself. That doesn't match with someone that's shy, does it? That's because they're very different. Introvert just means you need alone time to recharge that energy. So for me, after teaching all my students, I do need 2 or 3 hours of just being by myself, doing something by myself, before I have the energy to meet friends or chat to family. But I'm not shy. I'm not a shy person. So this is the difference here. A shy person is afraid of talking to new people, doesn't like talking to new people. An introvert just means they need time on their own. But they could be very, very enthusiastic, very outgoing, very lively, very funny, but they just need that time alone at the end of the day. Let me know down below, are you an introvert or an extrovert? Smart versus clever. Now, again, these are often used interchangeably because they both mean to have intelligence. However, smart means generally intelligent or quick-witted. Quick-witted means you can think of a response very quickly. So often comedians are quick-witted. They quickly think of something to say in response. Whereas clever is more about being inventive. You can problem solve. You have a higher level of intelligence than most people. Often we use clever to describe a solution, describe a situation. That was a clever idea. That was a clever solution. Oh, you found a clever solution to the problem. They can be used interchangeably. For example, you are smart, you are clever. But the idea of clever is it's more related to academically clever. Smart, you could be emotionally smart. You could be very, very good in social settings. Academically, you might not be clever, but you're able to chat to people very easily. You can think of responses very quickly. And my last pair for you today is alone versus lonely. Now, alone means by yourself. It just means by yourself. There's no negative feeling here. You are just by yourself. Whereas lonely is a negative feeling of being sad because you are alone. So, you can be alone and not feel lonely. But you cannot be lonely and not be alone. Does that make sense? So, for example, I live alone just means I live by myself, only one person in my house or flat. But I feel lonely means I miss my friends, my family. I want to go out and talk to people. He is alone just means he's by himself. But he is lonely. He wants company. He wants to talk to people. He misses social interaction with other people. So during COVID-19, many people were lonely and many people were alone. But the difference is the emotional feeling. You can be happy and alone, but usually when you are lonely, you also feel sad or negative about that. Are there any words in the English language that you confuse often? Or perhaps there are words in your language that you can tell me about in the comments that often have a very similar meaning but are used slightly differently. If there was a pair here that I included that was new to you or you didn't know the meaning or the difference, let me know down below. As I always say in all of my videos, when you're learning new vocabulary, it's very important to learn them in context, learn them in example sentences, because if you just learn the word, you might not use it in the correct way. So try and make some example sentences with these words that I've given you today and try and feel the difference between them. Thank you very much for your support, for liking the video, sharing the video, and I will see you again next time. Have a fantastic week. Bye-bye.